We're out of the city now and the car's racing through the night. Despite everything, Sally's fallen asleep in the back seat and I've climbed into the front alongside Nick. We haven't seen a zombie since the suburbs. In fact, we haven't seen anyone else on the road. It's like the three of us are the only people left in the world. Nick's got a CD on. Something quiet and mellow I haven't heard before, and I've got the passenger window open. I'm playing with the air that's streaming past. It smells different from city air, cleaner, almost crisp. All around us there's darkness while above our heads are stars. Millions of them. I can't believe how many there are. I've always known they were up there, but I've never seen so many before because of all the lights in the city. Nick sees me staring up at them and grins. He seems to know what's going through my head and he starts telling me about them. See those ones there? They make up a constellation called Orion. And the ones over there that look like the letter W, that's Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia? I know the name from somewhere but I can't quite place it. Yeah. She was an ancient Greek queen who boasted about how pretty she was and the gods punished her by making her sacrifice her daughter, Andromeda, to a sea monster, but Perseus saved her because he was in love with her. They're up there too. That's Perseus over there and that's Andromeda there. I try to follow where he's pointing. I can't make out which stars he's talking about, but somehow it's nice to know they are up there, immortalized forever. Nick doesn't seem to notice I don't know which stars he's talking about. See that bright star there in the middle of Andromeda? It's 97 light years away. That means the light we're seeing now left there at the start of the last century. He glances at me as if trying to judge what I'm thinking. He must be able to see I'm interested because he carries on. But that's nothing. See that star there? That's Deneb. It takes the light from it more than 1,000 years to get here. The light we're seeing left there more than 500 years before Columbus discovered America. Then there's Nick. I interrupt. Where'd you learn all that stuff? Don't know. I just sort of picked it up. I find it interesting. I guess my dad told me a lot of it and the rest I got from books. I thought about this for a few seconds. All my dad had ever taught me was never to wake him when he had a hangover and to keep out of his way when he was drunk. At that moment, I feel both angry and sad. And then for some reason I miss him and I start to cry. Nick puts his hand on my shoulder, just for a second to let me know he understands, and then puts it back on the wheel. I pull myself together and wipe away the tears before clearing my throat. So where do you think the zombies came from? He looks at me. I don't know. I was out on the roof trying to see the meteor shower and I saw Mr. Lafferty from next door staggering up the street, only he died last week. I know because Mom went to his funeral on Monday. I went inside and told her, but she wouldn't believe me. I wished she had, because the next thing I know Mr. Lafferty crashed through the front door and grabbed her by the hair and sank his teeth deep into the back of her neck. It was horrible. There was blood everywhere and she was screaming like I've never heard anyone scream before. Dad tried to stop him but he couldn't. I wanted to stay and help, but Dad told me to take the car and go. I think that's the only reason I got out alive. The last thing I saw was Dad hitting Mr. Lafferty over the head with a frying pan, but he was bleeding a lot and I could tell he wasn't going to survive for long. There's sadness in his voice and I think about what he's just said. That's the difference between our dads. When the dead started walking, his saved his life. Mine tried to kill me. It takes me a second to realize there's tears running down Nick's face. Knowing he'll be embarrassed if I mention it, I stare out the window for a couple of minutes. When I turn back to him, the tears are gone but his eyes are still red. How long will it be till we get to the farm? About an hour. His voice breaks and he tries to cover it up by clearing his throat. You think we'll be safe there? We should be. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no one around for miles. What about your uncle? He shifts uncomfortably in the driver's seat. He's, away on business. I figure that's a lie, but I don't push him further on it. Instead, I ask another question, one that's been eating away at me ever since it first popped into my head. Nick, I hesitate for a moment. Do you think everyone who's dead has come back? Or only some of them? He seems to know what I'm thinking and avoids looking at me. I don't know, but it's probably only people who've died recently. None of the ones I've seen were rotting or anything like that. They all seemed, fresh. Despite its gruesomeness, that makes me happy. I don't want my mom to have come back as one of them. I turn towards Nick, but what about my dad? What do you mean? When my dad came home tonight, he was one of them. He killed my stepmom and he tried to attack us. I had to bash his head in with that just to stop him. I point to the baseball bat in the back seat. It seems weird to be telling someone what I did, but I know Nick will understand. He didn't die, or at least I don't think he did. How did he become one of them? I guess he must have been attacked and got bitten. I think it might have started with dead people, but when they bite live people, I think they infect them with something and then they turn into zombies too. That certainly explained what went on with my stepmom. I think about all that's happened in the last few hours and try to work out how I'm feeling. As I'm figuring it out, something odd strikes me. The dead might have risen and taken over the world, but I've finally got the escape I've dreamed of for years. It doesn't matter that my dad and my stepmom are dead or that they tried to kill me. What matters is that I've finally broken free. I know life isn't going to be easy now, the world's changed, but I've survived this long and now I've got out. I know I can keep going, no matter what. I glance first at Nick and then at Sally. They are my family now, and despite all that's happened, I'm happier than I've been for a very long time. It might have taken the world coming to an end, but finally I realize that your family doesn't have to be the one you were born into. It can also be the people you choose it to be.